Hi everyone, this is just a quick overview of Module 6. So Module 6, we are continuing to work on the process essay. The final draft of the process essay will not be due until the end of Module 7 though. So right now we are just working on finishing a rough draft of your essay and then submitting it for feedback. You will get feedback in 3 ways. You will get feedback from your instructor once I get a chance to grade your rough draft, which will be partway through Module 7. You will get feedback from the Writing Center, which you will submit in this module and receive by the end of the module, and then you'll get feedback from your peers, which you will also submit in this module and get feedback by the end of the module. So by the end of Module 6, you should have feedback from the Writing Center and your peers. When you get into Module 7, you'll get feedback from your instructor. So let me show you what's going on in this module. There are different due dates. I do want to point this out right away. There are different due dates in this module, and I went ahead and set them differently because I wanted to notify you as coming up, making sure that you get them submitted. For the peer revision, it's really important to remember that the due date is just for the first submission. So this is just your rough draft submission. Your responses you can do after the 16th up until the 18th, which is the end of the module. The 14th is the Writing Center submission deadline, and this is their deadline and not mine. If you don't submit by the 14th, you won't get feedback in time to submit it before the end of the module. So that's just a reminder for you. Hopefully, I kind of debated on whether or not to change those due dates physically in Canvas. They will be open for longer than that, but it's important that you get them submitted by then. Hopefully no one will be confused. I'm sure I'll get lots of emails from you guys. So same stuff over your to-do list. We are not doing a reading assignment. The readings here is mostly review and then also finishing an essay. So finishing well is the only section that's new. The process essay assignment is the same assignment sheet that you got in Module 5, so you can review that again and make sure that you are comfortable with the assignment. Make sure again that you go back and look at your writing plan from Module 5 when you get feedback from it. Same thing with your thesis statement. All important stuff before you start working on the rough draft. So the rough draft is not due until the end of the module, but you actually have to finish it before then. A lot of times students will kind of get a rough version and then submit it to the discussion board and to the Writing Center and then kind of clean it up a little bit to submit to the instructor, and that's fine. You may have different versions that you submit to the discussion board and to the online writing lab. So it just kind of depends on where you're at. So this is just how to fill out the rough draft once you've got your plan ready. Go back and look at your plan and then start working on the introduction, body, and conclusion. I've got this set up. You're not writing an outline, so it won't look like this, but basically I'm just explaining what you need to do in the introduction and the body and the conclusion and kind of how to develop those sections. It's worth 50 points. Most of the points are automatically earned if you have completed the elements required. I'm not grading you on grammar for this one. I just am giving you a chance to get some feedback from me on how you're doing. So as long as you have a complete draft that you turn in, you should get your 50 points for it. So it's an easy way to earn points in this unit. The next thing that you're going to be working on is the discussion board, and I put the response or the reminder here to post your draft by Friday the 16th. That way your peers have at least 2 days to respond to you. So this is a peer review assignment, and basically what you're going to do is you'll post your draft once you have it completed, and then you'll respond to 2 of your peers. If you're the first person to respond, I want you to answer the questions. These are just peer edit questions. If you are the second person to respond to that essay, then you're going to just find 10 sentences that need to be corrected. If you're the third person to respond, then you'll find 10 different sentences. Generally, you'll just get 2 responses, but I do have that in there if there's not enough essays that have been posted yet, and there's already been 2 responses for each of those essays, then you can do 10 more sentences if you want to. No essay should have more than 4. Now, if you get in there and all of them have 3 responses, send me an email and I'll help you out with that. So basically, this is just your chance to provide feedback for your peer. This is a link to the online writing lab. It's not showing up in the screen, but you can click on this link here and it will take you to the form. So the form is what you'll submit to the online writing lab with your essay file. You want to put your date and your name and your ID number. Make sure you spell your email address correctly. Otherwise, they'll send it into the universe and you'll never get it back. And then tell them what class this is for and what the assignment is. You can also answer some of these other questions. They're not required, but it's really helpful for them when they're giving you responses to know kind of what to look for. And then you'll choose your file from your computer and you'll upload the file. So you do have to have, they can't take Google Docs and they can't take PDFs. You have to have this essay saved as a Word document in order to submit it to the online writing lab. So if you're having trouble with that, let me know. And we can try and get it submitted correctly. I would submit this early. I've got the deadline as Wednesday because it takes them at least 2 business days to respond. And so here's the next assignment. This is where you'll submit. So the Allen Online Writing Lab, there's just one person responding to essays, and he takes 40 business hours. He's only working during the day to respond to students. Sometimes he'll get back to you the next day, and sometimes it'll take up to 2 days. So that's why I have submit by Wednesday, July 14th on there, just because, and I have the due date as July 14th, because if you don't submit it by then, you probably won't get feedback and then you'll have to ask for an extension. The assignment itself obviously is open longer than that. So if you need an extension, you'll need to email me. But this will put you at a disadvantage because you'll be waiting for feedback in order to complete your final draft. When you submit the file, so what's going to happen is you'll submit the file to them using that form that I showed you. They will email you back a copy of your essay, and that file of your essay will have, once you download it out of your email, it will have comments on it that have been used, track changes, or comments, little comment boxes, and that's what you'll use to make changes to your essay. So it's really important that you're paying attention to that. Those are the changes that you need to make to your essay, and then you'll submit that file with their comments in it. You'll submit it to this assignment right here. You'll do start assignment, you'll submit that. So sometimes students get really confused by that. And so that's how you'll go about doing it. Fill out the form. I have the link here as well, and then submit the file of your essay, and then check your email. They will send the essay back to you with comments in it. You will download that essay, save it, and then you will submit it here. This is the grammar review. We're looking at commas for this unit, and then the quiz will be in the next, this is the quiz that you'll take. So that is the module. Basically, it's a lot like the other modules that we've completed, but we're focusing on writing that rough draft. This is probably the most writing intensive module because you are writing the full draft in this one. For module 7, we will just be revising the draft that you've already written. So as usual, if you have any questions, please make sure that you send me an email, send me a text message. If you're struggling with anything, make sure that you're reaching out and contacting me. Otherwise, I hope that you are doing well.